Toronto Blue Jays are making more moves. They have made a new trade. We're going to dive into exactly what that is and discuss some other updates that have dropped. We have multiple new updates as well as pertains to a bunch of players following one of the best wins, if not the best win of the season last night against the Athletics. So a ton to go over today, folks. Before we get into it, if you're a part of the percentage who aren't subscribed to the channel, you guys have been absolute beasts. So thank you guys for that. We were on the road to 20,000 subscribers, so make sure to hit that subscribe button. Ladies and gentlemen, a lot to go over today, and I was at the game yesterday, and they put up 11 runs in 3 innings. It was a crazy, crazy game. They put up 8 runs. In the first few innings of the game, it was craziness. They put up 8 runs in 1 inning in general. But we have some updates to go over today. And late last night, the Jays did make a trade. Is it a huge trade? No, but we're going to dive into it nonetheless. Let's dive right into it, and we'll start with it here. So you can see here, Philadelphia Phillies have acquired Josh Walker from Toronto Blue Jays in exchange for cash considerations. Walker was optioned to Lehigh Valley AAA. So just want to get this out of the way first. There are moves being made, and it's not a super notable trade, but again, we cover everything here on the channel. But Josh Walker did pitch a handful of games for the Toronto Blue Jays this year, but obviously with the Jays having, a bunch of different players, Mason Flaherty, Brendan Little, all these different guys, they are going to let Josh Walker go, and they got cash for him, and ultimately this also opens up another roster spot now, which is going to lend into what we have in a minute, a bunch of updates for relievers and things like that. So the first order of business, getting rid of Josh Walker, it happened via trade. So that is what happened. Let me know down below if you have any thoughts on it. Ultimately, it's going to be really a nothing move because, not nothing move in the sense of Jays aren't going to lose anybody, but they are, of course, gaining a roster spot now in order to make other moves for some of these other players. Now, we know that I covered it in the video yesterday, but Bichette, he ultimately ended up returning yesterday. But I want to start with a couple different things here. Let's start with a bunch of different updates that came out both before and after yesterday's game. So you can see here, Bichette is doing much better per John Schneider. And of course, he ultimately played in yesterday's game and looked absolutely fantastic. I saw it live in person. So that was obviously, the good news is he's fully healthy, good to go. But some notable things here. Ryan Burr had an injection in his shoulder and will be shut down from throwing for at least a few days. And Ryan Burr is a guy that was very solid with the advanced metrics, at least last season for the Toronto Blue Jays. And coming into spring training, we were kind of hoping that he would help add some depth into the bullpen. And he's someone that not a lot of fans really noticed how good he actually was advanced analytics-wise last year in his brief stint with the Jays. He's been struggling now to get healthy, and he takes another step back here. So he's going to be throwing for at least a few more days. Tyler Heineman, he is progressing and could be activated this weekend against the Athletics. It is a 4-game series here, and the way Alejandro Kirk is swinging the bat, it's not a huge deal that Heineman is out, but we all know that Heineman is obviously a better option than Elise Sanchez. There's no doubt about that. However, he's dealing with a concussion, Tyler Heineman, that is. So to see him be activated this weekend, in all likelihood, is good. And Anibal Sanchez, I believe his name is, will be sent back down. And then, of course, from there, you're going to be in pretty good shape with your catching duo because, Alejandro Kirk, like we'll dive into later here, was absolutely fantastic. He's been electric as of late, and everybody was in yesterday's game. But this is the biggest note. Eric Swanson was pitching at AAA last night, and it's looking like he will be on his way to the majors in his next for his next outing. Now, of course, this could change. He could have another relief appearance in AAA, but he pitched an inning yesterday night. Looked very, very good. I believe it was a shutout inning, but regardless, he pitched an inning late last night, and it went well. And Eric Swanson, this team needs some bullpen help. And obviously, their bullpen's been very, very good this season. There's no doubt about it, right? Their bullpen has been very, very good, both in the late relief. At the start of the year, the beginning relief was pretty rough, but they figured it out slowly through guys like Mason Flaherty, Brendan Little. Both of those guys have specifically stepped up, but you also have other guys, even towards the start of the season, Nick Sandlin, a bunch of different players. Even the rookie Fisher, he's been very, very good, like unbelievably good. So they've gotten blessed a little bit in that regard. But Eric Swanson is 2 years removed from 2023, helping carry this team to a playoff berth here and in 2023. So to have him finally start to make his way back is absolutely, it's just a fantastic sign. Probably the best sign we've had in a while for injury updates. But we have some more to go over because it was a busy, busy day of updates. So the pitcher for tomorrow's game is still to be determined. Will depend on the next 2 days unfold. And we obviously saw yesterday they got to use their low end relief guys. So we'll see who they use in tonight's game. Blue Jays working through some mechanical stuff with Spencer Turnbull, but Schneider says they want his next outing to be at AAA. And then Nick Sandlin is set to throw a live bullpen in Florida tomorrow. So obviously for Nick Sandlin, he's another reliever. The Jays have an absolute abundance of relievers, and that's why they were fine trading away Josh Walker, who's a lefty, for cash, because, of course, Brendan Little's been elite, Mason Flaherty's been elite, and Eric Swanson's elite against lefties in the past as well. And then Spencer Turnbull, who's set to be the starter, whenever he's built up, because the Jays now are, every 4 or 5 days they're running basically a bullpen game. Now they've been splitting time between Yariel Rodriguez, Eric Lauer, all these different guys. And has been working very, very well, especially since Yariel has gotten a lot better in the bullpen role. But for Spencer Turnbull, he's a starter. He had a very good year last year. You need him to come up and you need him to be healthy. And that's something that hopefully he will be able to do with this team. And he's set to make another outing an outing at AAA here very, very soon. His first of AAA. And hopefully he will perform well, but regardless, they're more looking for him to get built up. That's why they acquired Jose Urena, who's going to, I would assume, be DFA'd in order to make room for Spencer Turnbull, because you don't really need two of those guys. Turnbull is the better pitcher. That's why they sent him to the Florida Complex League to build up, and then slowly but surely have now built him up into a starter's workload. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with all these guys. There's an abundance of updates today, which is good, because now at this point, if the team can slowly start to get healthy and start to string some hits together, it could be a scary team, especially now they have an opportunity to, do really well against the Athletics. But some more on Max Scherzer here. He's scheduled to throw a live bullpen on Friday at Rogers Center. He'll throw 20 to 25 pitches and, go from there. So that's a pretty big update for Scherzer. We'll have another video on that, here shortly. But he is, of course, looking for a return. And one quick note as well here, and kind of take a step back. The Athletics have been terrible in May. This is, of course, from Josh Goldberg. Of course, yesterday, the Jays destroyed the Athletics. But it is going to be crucial for them to take care of business. And I, at this point, want a sweep. Athletics pitching is terrible. A 6.37, which is now higher after yesterday's game. They've given up the most homers this month. Would be nice for the Jays to take advantage. This team, the Toronto Blue Jays, they've had some great series. I mean, think back to the Padres series where they swept the Padres. Then you get swept by the Rays. And then you go out and you win a series against Texas. You need to take care of business against the Athletics. You need to win today. You need to sweep the 4-game series, or at least win 3 out of 4, because the Yankees are playing very good baseball, but you're only 3 games back of a wild card spot. And when you're at this point of your season, these are the times you need to string together wins. The tough part of the schedule is mostly over. The first 2 months we knew were going to be the hardest. We wanted the Jays to hover around 500. They've done that, and now their hitters are starting to heat up with their average of runners in scoring position really increasing. Bo's been great. Vladdy's been great. Clement's been great. Kirk's been great. If you can slowly but surely start to build up this offense, get Santander hopefully going. Barshow, Andres Jimenez, no update on him, but he's going to hopefully be coming back in the very near future. Things are looking good for this team. You have to pile on wins, and it would be deflating to lose today's game against the Athletics. It's one of the biggest games of the season just to keep the momentum going here, especially as things start to pick up surrounding this team. But it's great to see Bo back. It's great to see the team be healthy. And hopefully, Jonathan Clase can continue his absolutely dominant it'll stretch a play there. The last few games have been absolutely insane. So let me know down below what your thoughts are on the trade. And, of course, all of these updates, a ton of things coming out. We're going to keep you up to date with everything Blue Jays related. So make sure to hit that subscribe button. Thank you guys for watching. See you later.